there's opportunities to volunteer. I think it's one thing to know, this organization exists, and I think to know it, hey, here's my dollar when I go to McDonald's, in the little
donation box,
donation box and all that. But what are some ways, aside from donating, which is obviously was welcome,
always,
that people can get involved?
So we have different ways. You can be an individual volunteer if you want to go on your own. We have certain opportunities, probably doing clerical work, thank you letters. We have the meals program, which is called Meals from the Heart. Anybody can sign up to do a lunch or a dinner, Monday through Sunday. You can either bring it already done or cater it, and you can serve it to the families. Also, you can collect items from our wish list. So like any items that you have in your house, multiply it times 30. That would be cleaning products, paper products. Right now, we're doing a collection of pillows.
How can they find that wish list?
On our website. We have our website with the most needed items, and we also have a wish list on Amazon.
Well, welcome back to another Hanguiando interview. Now, there's something we love here on the show. It's raising awareness about worthy causes. And to that end, we are here today with Soraya Rivera-Moya, or Maya or Moya? Moya, sorry. My old eyes are looking at my phone and the O looked like an A. Because she is the executive director of Ronald McDonald House Charities of South Florida. And I'm so thankful that you're here with us today.
Oh, please, thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invite.
No, thank you for coming. Many of us, McDonald's is ubiquitous, right? We all know those delightful golden arches, right?
Yeah.
But some of us might not be as familiar with Ronald McDonald House Charities as a concept. I am, as I was sharing with you earlier, because a cousin of mine had to use the organization when one of her children was born as a preemie. So I'm familiar with, what you guys do for the community, but, kind of give our
sure
our pero primos, as we call them, who may not know as much, a little bit background.
So the Ronald McDonald House has been established for the last 50 years.
Wow.
And how it all started was a child that was diagnosed with cancer. His parents, actually, Fred Hill, was a Philadelphia Eagles team player. And then his daughter was diagnosed with leukemia, and he would live in the suburbs back then in Philadelphia, and he would have to commute to be by his daughter's bedside. And then he partnered with the doctor, the oncologist, Dr. Audrey Evans, and they came up with a concept of, we need to find a place where parents are able to rest, sleep, and eat properly. We're seeing them in the Philadelphia Children's Hospital sleeping in the hallways. And there's a movie that you should watch.
Oh, wow.
It's called Audrey's Children.
Audrey's Children.
So Dr. Audrey Evans was the pioneer of one of the founders of the first Ronald McDonald House. You can watch it on Prime.
Oh, okay.
The movie Audrey's Children. I encourage everybody to see it. So with them, McDonald's actually was the first corporate partner, and they actually raised the funds through the restaurants and through the customers. You know those Shamrock shakes?
Yes.
Okay.
Come on. It's almost St. Patrick's Day. Of course we know the Shamrock
So
shakes.
the color of the Philadelphia Eagles is what color? Green. So they came up with a concept. McDonald's came with a concept of let's create a product. We're going to be raised a percentage of the sales will be designated to purchase this facility, this home, actually colonial home that was in the corner of Philadelphia Children's. And they did. And when they came up with the name, how are we going to call it? And they came Ronald McDonald House because of the clown and the character back then. So after that, there was a huge movement in the 80s of duplicating this concept. Very simple. We want the parents to rest, to sleep, and eat properly. And there were 100 houses that opened back then, and one of them was ours.
At that time.
And one of them was ours here in South Florida, specifically here in Miami. And we opened 43 years ago, the facility. And the same thing happens. McDonald's helps with the seat money, the franchisees are involved, other volunteers are involved, doctors. So our partnership with Jackson Memorial Hospital is what we have today. And we're a 30-bedroom facility, and we help the parents that have seriously sick children, and they travel from far away, and they need a place to stay. Because as you know, Airbnbs are expensive. Hotels, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, the resort fees alone.
And imagine having a child that is going to be waiting for an organ transplant or going through chemotherapy, or maybe there's some trauma involved and they're not from the city. So they're able to stay with us for free.
I think that is so fantastic because aside from the fact that any organization that helps children, I mean, obviously that's a good thing, right? But I love that ultimately what you're striving for is to, in a weird way, provide a sense of normalcy or an opportunity to, as much as the parent in that situation can, disconnect or relax and not just constantly be, in a recliner in the room, right? Which ultimately just wears out the parent who's already probably on edge because of what they're going through with their child. It gives them a chance to kind of step away and just take a shower.
Correct. Do laundry. Take a nap.
Take a nap in a bed.
In a bed.
As opposed to, a really uncomfortable chair that, I'm sorry, but mucho que you guys try.
I know.
Thank you, hospitals, but they're not comfortable.
Yeah. And the parents are there hours.
Yeah.
They leave very early in the morning for either doctor's appointments or be by the child's bedside. And that could be transferred into 12 hours. So what do you do in the time being? Then you can come to the Ronald McDonald House and do all that. And, and the beauty is that they can come and have a home-cooked meal.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of volunteers that help. And that's the beauty of the concept of the Ronald McDonald House. But the reality is that parents are able to cope through the journey not alone. They're together.
It's a community.
Correct. It's a big community, and they all became, like one mom said to me once, like, we all become one. That's what she said.
I didn't even think about that aspect of it because yes, they're all in this space going through a similar, if not identical experience. And that's a support system that
it is.
Because to what you mentioned earlier, many of these families are coming from far, right? They're not always based in Miami. They might be coming from
Broward, Palm Beach,
Orlando. I mean,
Tampa,
Tampa.
Yeah. Other states,
and
international.
Yeah, and they're here. They have no one.
I
mean, obviously nowadays with the advent of FaceTime and things like that, it's a little bit easier to find that comfort in your family or loved ones. But there's no substitute for that immediacy of having someone there. And that affords that.
And sometimes, there's scenarios where you're going to have only one parent coming over. The other one might have to work back home. And they're separated sometimes for weeks and months. And that's stressful. You don't want to go through this alone. So at least, I'm able to see and witness a lot of moms become friends. And they cook together. And, our volunteers create a lot of activities, like you said, for that peace of mind. Some nights we have karaoke. Some nights we have bingo.
Oh, wait.
Domino.
Can I go and help with the
volunteer?
Because I love a karaoke.
Yeah.
That's, nobody wants to hear me sing, but I love karaoke.
We do arts and crafts. So this is all done by volunteers. Sometimes we have salsa lessons, yoga, anything that maybe you do with your friends or even with other children, you're able to do at the Ronald McDonald House.
As we say in Spanish, right? Te desquita la mente un
Te
poco.
desquita la mente. Sí.
That's
Una
really,
tranquilidad. Mm-hmm.
But that's such a... It sounds ambitious, but it's not. It takes so little to really just offer them that opportunity. And Ronald McDonald House, so all of these services are free.
Free, correct.
Correct. So that's another element.
Correct.
What we were talking about earlier.
The financial burden. We're eliminating that.
Yeah. You are really, not just a place to stay, but let's just say food.
Correct.
And because of the location of the Ronald McDonald House, the one here in South Florida is near Jackson. So
it's right on the premises. It's just walking distance.
So you're not even having to get an Uber, right?
Correct. You don't need transportation.
No transportation necessary. That is such a burden that is being lifted in that time.
Totally. Yeah. And, we're very proud. I have to say that our team does a great work in providing the correct hospitality to each of these families. Whether it's, answering a question about the city or where is the closest shopping center if they needed to purchase something or they know of any resource that they might need additional help with, so there's a lot of things.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the Ronald McDonald House Charities or the Ronald McDonald House, is the building itself just called the Ronald McDonald House?
Yes.
Okay, make sure I get that properly.
And it's funny because our Hispanic families call it La Casita.
Hey, Bad Bunny should show up there too.
La Casita.
Just saying, maybe that's what's coming down the pike. You never know.
You never know.
But so we mentioned that it's the Ronald McDonald House at Jackson on the campus. But you're currently in the process of making a bigger
Yes.
Ronald McDonald House. And I wanted to just bring up a statistic that I saw on the literature that you provided. You serve in South Florida, Ronald McDonald House Charities, South Florida alone, has served 225 families annually and supported over 30,000 families since opening.
Correct.
And yet, you are expanding, expanding, right? The
Yes.
Ronald McDonald House, because in 2024, there were 128 families that, unfortunately, due to space limitations, were turned away.
Correct. We were not able to help them.
Even
Yes.
with all of the families that you help annually, the need is so great
It is.
that you are now building a bigger,
Yes.
bigger, better casita.
Yes.
And you guys have really done a fantastic job with the fundraising, I have to say. You've
Yes.
raised, at this point, it's a $33 million project.
Correct.
You've raised how much?
28.
$28
So we
million.
raised 85% of the funds needed so far.
That is fantastic. But I also think it's a testament to the credibility and the power of, I'm a marketer, of the brand,
Of course.
right? Of the Ronald McDonald House brand, right? It
Yeah.
definitely resonates.
Yeah,
with
people
the
really
community.
support the mission and they believe it and they're able to see it, you know?
Yeah.
They're able to see it. I mean, I love to share the mission every single day. That's my role. And that's what I like doing. So when people come over, they're able to see all the services. They're really surprised. Like, you do all this? I'm like, yeah, we do. We, it's not only the meals and the lodging, it's all the activities and any other thing. We take families to different outings too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for example, we take them to House of Horror. You know that
Hey, I love me a horror event. I am a horror movie fan, so.
we take them to that. We take them to Christmas Wonderland, to the Miami Zoo. So whenever we get those things, we create different activities besides just being at the house. Because remember, we host the family, but we also have siblings that could be here.
Oh, true.
So it's not only sometimes the parent, their brothers or sisters could be here as well. If they're from Florida, they might come on weekends. If they're from out of town, they might come, I don't know, whenever there's no school.
But they're there.
But they're there and they're able to see their brother or their sister, you know. So we host the entire family. So we think of every single detail. How can we improve that? And how can we better serve the brothers and the sisters as well?
That is fantastic. Like, the more I talk to you, the more I'm just, again, I thought I knew about Ronald McDonald House, right? I'm like, oh, I have a personal connection.
Yeah.
And I'm just learning more and more the more that we speak.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing to see every single day how we're supporting the parents and talking about the new house. I know that you mentioned that yes, we've been turning away a lot. Creating a capital project as this one takes time.
Of course.
And mostly it's taking a little bit longer time because there's no land. There's no property.
That's a problem here in South Florida.
Specifically at
Yes,
Jackson.
yes.
We really wanted to be on campus. We didn't want to be away from the campus or outside of the campus. As you said, it's better just to be a walking distance rather than taking a shuttle or crossing an avenue or any of that.
Yeah,
the
public
safety
transportation here doesn't really exist. So
the safety of our families is priority. So Jackson identified a piece of property, which is 100 steps away from the actual children's hospital.
I mean, any closer and it's like in the ER, I mean, that's
right there. And then, it's bigger and we're actually tripling our square footage. We're going from 25,000 square feet to 60,000 square feet. And more rooms, which is what we really need. We want to eliminate that waiting list and more communal, bigger spaces to have more activities.
Yeah.
And then we did a survey to the families. What did they would like to see in terms of the common area? So one thing that came about, we would love to have an area where we can pray.
That's really lovely.
So we're going to have a contemplation and meditation room in the new facility, bigger dining room, bigger kitchen, multi-purpose room, a teenage room separated from the little toddler one.
Teenagers don't want to be around kids. They're
Exactly.
too cool for school,
And an art space, an art and creativity space as well. Like I said, it's very well thought. We visited many other Ronald McDonald houses. We learned from those as well. And our architect, I think, did an incredible job of putting that design.
Is every Ronald McDonald House, I want to say the whole thing, is every Ronald McDonald House kind of created with the community it's located in mind? So like would the one in Miami have something that maybe one in LA doesn't have and vice versa?
Yeah, so right now we're working with some local artists. So visually, we want to give a Miami feel to the lobby and the rooms. So
Nice.
we're gonna have those colors. We'll probably do like a 305 cafecito time.
I mean, you can't get more Miami than that. Come on.
In our kitchen, we'll probably do something like that. But yeah, we'll definitely include the Miami spice
Those
and the Miami
toquecitos.
feel of it. A lot of other Ronald McDonald houses, like organizational leaders like myself, they can't wait to come and see because they want to host a meeting down here.
Yeah, well,
and
hey, I
see-
can't wait to go see it when it's
Yeah.
done, and I'm not an organizational leader either.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're very grateful for everything that has happened because we've raised all those funds in 3 years, which is incredible.
Incredible in
Yeah.
3 years.
Yeah. And I was afraid. I'm like, how are we gonna raise that amount? Like, that's has been my biggest project or undertake ever since I've been with the organization. And I was afraid. I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do that. But it just takes time, and you find the right people, and they understand. They
Also, again, I think it's just because you've proven what you bring to the community. Just I want to bring some other statistics because I think these are so impressive. The average length of stay for a family in 2024 was 48 days.
It's a long time to be away from
almost
their
2
home.
months.
Yeah.
To be away from home. And the longest family stay was over a year in 2024 by 1 day, 366 days.
Yes.
So again, it's not just, oh, the kid is sick. It's not just
No.
the kid is sick and we need somewhere to like sit, right? You are really, really
This is their home.
giving
Yeah.
to people who have this necessity and
Correct.
are going through it, right? Because to be staying there for a year, that means that this child was very, very sick, right? There was
Yeah.
really something happening
We help the
there.
sickest children. We do.
And to have to also think about, where am I going to stay?
Mm-hmm.
Where am I going to feed? If I have another kid, to be able to just kind of focus your energies on the child,
That's all we have accomplished our mission.
that's eso no tiene valor, right? Like that's just above and beyond what anybody can ask.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's priceless.
Yeah,
Right?
thank you.
It's
That's what I was looking for. Priceless. I
Priceless.
thought about it in Spanish and not not in English.
priceless, yeah.
But that's why I think I don't want to say it was easy because it's not easy raising $28 million.
No, it's not.
But it was not as much of a challenge as you would probably thought it was going to be at first, right?
I thought at first I'm like, I don't even know how I'm gonna convey that message. But we created our statement, and we created, of course, all our materials. And the key is for people to come and tour the facility because they're able to see exactly the work behind the faces behind the mission, meet some of our staff members, some of our volunteers, and see firsthand some of our volunteers right there, doing their activities. And
hands-on.
whenever I give tours, there's always like a mom around, and I swear to God, I don't stage it.
Are we sure?
We encounter the family, and
Not going to find these families on Getty Images, right? No.
No. But they're able to share from the heart how the house has really made an impact in their lives and their children's. Because, like I said before, we give access to medical care. One doctor said to me, "You're saving lives, Soraya." I'm like, "We are?" And I was like, "Explain to me how." Because we're not the doctor. He's like, "No, but you're giving access to medical care, and you're giving them." The parents are actively engaged in the decision making.
Yeah, they can focus.
They can focus.
They can focus.
Yeah.
And at that time, knock wood, I've never had to go through anything like that, but I can't even imagine everything swirling through a parent's head.
Yeah.
To then also have to deal with all the other day-to-day stuff.
Correct. Work.
Yeah.
Because imagine that, let's say you're from Orlando and they tell you, oh, we're going for a doctor's appointment, which has happened. We're going for a diagnosis. And then diagnosis is not what you want to hear. Yeah. And the doctor says, you know what, you have to stay here. What do you mean I have to stay here? I'm not from here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
have to
clothes on
stay
my back.
here. Yeah. Well, I have to figure out what I'm going to do with my full-time job, with my other children, if there's any, or I can find a place to live. Yeah. And that's where we come in and take care of that.
And luckily nowadays, remote work exists.
Exactly.
Because back when when the charity started,
oh yeah,
that was not a concept
no,
at all.
We have certain parents that work remotely. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're able to work in our computer room and they're able to do that remotely. And they're,
Provide that
yes.
a space for them to be able to do
Correct. Yeah, we have computers. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have computers. We have Wi-Fi. If they have their own laptop, yeah, everything is there. We have a little area for the toddlers right now. We have a patio where they can do barbecue as well if they want to, or the groups that volunteer can come do
that.
barbecue
They can
too.
even do a barbecue. You
Yeah.
guys have thought of everything. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not okay. Barbecue. Like I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We had one. We had a very nice group last week. They did a hibachi rice. Yeah, hibachi rice. They brought the grill. Yeah, I'm telling you, these volunteers get very creative and
Volunteers are stepping it up.
They are stepping it up.
I think they're competing against each other. I think all the volunteer groups know each other and they're like,
Yeah.
what did you do last week? I'll see your hibachi and I'll do a...
So imagine it's like a nice treat that a volunteer thought about that for someone else.
So speaking of volunteers, because you've mentioned there's opportunities to volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one thing to know, this organization exists, and I think to know it, hey, here's my dollar when I go to McDonald's, in the little
Donation box.
the donation box and all that. But what are some ways, aside from donating, which is obviously was welcome,
Always.
that people can get involved?
Sure.
Because I think one of the many things is people are always like, well, I want to help, but I don't know how. I don't know what to do. I can't cook. I don't know how to paint. I can't go and help you know what I'm saying? People sometimes kind of get in their own way, I
Correct.
think, in terms of limiting what it means to volunteer.
Sure.
And so how can they get involved?
So we have different ways. You can be an individual volunteer if you want to go on your own. We have certain opportunities, probably doing clerical work, thank you letters, putting the thank you letters in the envelopes because sometimes we have plenty to send. We're very thankful to everybody, no matter what amount they provide to us or no matter what type of whether it's an in-kind service or an item that they donate. We're always very thankful. So we have individual volunteers. We have the meals program, which is called Meals from the Heart. Anybody can sign up to do a lunch or a dinner Monday through Sunday. You can either bring it already done or cater it, and you can serve it to the families and spend some time with them and able to
Can you
talk
cook it
to
on
them.
premises or no?
You can cook it on premises if you want, or like I said, cater. Yeah. Also, you can collect items from our wish list. So like any items that you have in your house, multiply it times 30. That would be cleaning products, paper products. Right now, we're doing a collection of pillows
How can they find that wish list?
on our website. We have our website with the most needed items, and we also have a wish list on Amazon. So people can buy it on Amazon.
You don't even
and
have to
ship
go
it.
and buy it. I mean, could she make it any easier for you guys to
Yes.
be part of the process?
We do. Cleaning products, batteries. For example, just to give you an example, whenever a hurricane comes, right, which we don't want,
No.
but we have little lanterns because we don't close our doors. We're there. So we need batteries for that, lanterns. Like I said, anything that you need in your own house, we need it at the Ronald McDonald House. We also have groups came up with this idea. We create some nice welcome bags. So when a family checks into the Ronald McDonald House, when they go to their bedroom, there's a nice welcome bag with like blankets, a little water bottle, a neck pillows, little
So smart, the
toiletries.
neck pillow,
Yeah, all that. So when a family comes in, they're able to see that. And we also include a toy, depending on the child's age or the siblings. If we know ahead of time, we place that in the bedroom, as a nice welcome gesture.
But those are the little things that really go so far.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that sometimes. I think, again, like I was saying, when people think like, oh, but I want to volunteer, but I can't, do this grand thing. And it's like,
No.
to your point,
Yeah.
can you put things in a bag?
Yeah. Do a collection.
That is probably going to hit when they walk into that room and they see that. You don't know what they've been going through. They may break down and cry because it's like
Yeah.
a neck pillow. Oh my God, I've been sitting in that chair for
Correct,
hours and I
correct.
didn't.
Or a blanket because it's so cold in the hospital. Yeah.
Hospital
So we
is
think of everything. Little toiletries, like I said, plush toys. We try to think of everything. So we have companies that put those together and send them to us, or they can put it together at the Ronald McDonald House, and then we have them in our storage. So when a family checks in, what else? They can come and participate in our events as a volunteer. We have several events throughout the year that they can come for like registration process or help us in the coordination of things or put the ballroom together with flowers. All those different details when it comes to an event, they can help. as well.
Or if they have a spare $1 million, you can just, you can send it to her
Yes.
and help her get closer to the goal.
That would be very helpful.
Yeah.
But like I said, any help really. And like you said, gardening or painting could be done. Pressure cleaning, window cleaning. So, we have a little bit of variety because the building does take a lot of maintenance.
Yeah, I'm sure. And it's all volunteer based.
It's all volunteer based. And when you go to the Ronald McDonald House and you tour it, all the furniture is donated.
Really?
Yeah. Whether it's an in-kind contribution or we have a donor that is able to contribute for the funds to purchase it. So, yeah.
So, I guess aside from just the actual building itself, everything else is very volunteer funded, volunteer driven.
Yeah. When our slogan has always been called the house that love built. And it's so true.
It's very true.
Very true.
Very, very true.
It's all volunteer based.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to see how I can get involved. I'm gonna figure out. Maybe.
You have to come and tour.
I know. Oh no, I want to take a tour. I was actually gonna ask him so when is this projected to be to be done, right? Because it's still being
it's
built.
still in construction, but it's going very fast. We did groundbreaking September of last year. It's like I say, it's a 7-story building. They're already in the 4th floor.
Oh, look, I found that.
So, hopefully grand opening, because the developer has to hand that out to us. So I would say first quarter of next year. So probably before summer, we might be open.
For summer of
next year.
2027.
Yeah, it's going fast.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going fast. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm sure you're going to need people to help paint. Maybe, you know what, Junior? Maybe we'll organize a cultura painting party and we'll all go and go. Oh, that's true. You know what? We'll just let him go wild. It's blank canvas. Anybody who's seen he loves to paint on the walls, on the floor. Keep him away from the children. He might paint on one of them too if they get in the way. But
we have many areas that we can actually, showcase. So maybe he can come up with something to give us a gift to the families for them to enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Listen, as you can tell, it's very colorful. So that
very
definitely
colorful. Will very, very he can do something very Miami. That's as we were talking. Yeah.
If there's anything, Adrian it's very Miami. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again so much for coming by. I'm going to just hold this up. Was it Give Hope a Bigger Home? That is exactly what you're doing right now. And
our campaign is called Hope Has a New Home. That's the slogan of our marketing campaign.
We could all use a little more hope these days, right? I think that's something we can all agree on. And
that's what the house really wants to convey.
But that's what you're doing.
Exactly.
I will tell you, I know you're saying, yes, what we want to do. No, it's what you're doing.
We're doing. It's happening. It's happening.
Every day that you guys are open.
Yeah. And we're so thankful to every single donor, not only for this facility, throughout the years. South Florida community has been so grateful to us. So generous. Every single person that we have met, every single person that has gone through our doors, anything that they have done for these families. We're very grateful for that. So for the next 50 years, we'll be there. So, or forever.
Only? No.
Forever.
Forever. This is immortal. This is forever.
It's a much needed project, and our families are super excited. So when you come over and tour, have you meet a few, and they'll tell you how important this house has been to them.
Absolutely. And Pero Primos, for everybody who's listening or watching, we are going to have the link to Ronald McDonald House Charities of South Florida so that you can go and check out their wish list, find ways to volunteer. I'm assuming there's probably a calendar of events.
Oh, yes.
All of that. So again, if I made it any easier for you guys, I would show up at your house and drive you there, okay? So definitely check that out. It's a very worthwhile organization, and just thank you and everyone involved, not just in this one, but globally.
Yes.
For continuing this mission. It is so necessary, and
very necessary.
You really are doing, as I say, God's work, right?
God's work.
It's absolutely true.
Yes. So thank you so much for the opportunity, and we're going to make a day for you to come.
Just one for now, but maybe 2 or 3 over the course of the next
Whenever you want,
months.
You're all more than welcome to come.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.